It is time for the keys to life. Say keys to life. Like you mean it, say keys to life. One more time. Come on, somebody say keys to life. All right, all right. Number one, the devil does not need it to be like before. The devil does not need it to be like before. What does that mean? Whatever it is that got you last time, he doesn't need it. He doesn't need to trick you with the same trick, to get you at the same place, to get you at the same time. He just needs to know where you're at right now, to know what level you're on right now, to know how you feel right now. That is the key to number one. Why? Because if he knows how you feel, which we're really good at telling people how we feel, then he knows what button to push. He knows where the edge is. Why? Because we tell people full-heartedly, honestly, and freely where our edge is. Don't get me there. One more time and I'm over it. We put all our answers right there. And so what you have to understand is someone that's been studying you since you were born has the keys to knock you out your square. He has the keys to get you to tip over. You ever played a long time ago, not everybody knows about it, we used to play this game in school. You take a piece of paper, fold it up, and you make it into like a triangle, and it would be the football. And you would start off and you would hit it against the desk, and then it would slide up, and you would slide it, and you try to get it right to the edge right here. And I just tap, and I tap, and I tap. And that's all he's doing. It's just a little tap, little nudge. Little nudge. Oh, you feeling some type of way about that person right there? Okay, I got you. So now, all of a sudden, that person got something to say about what you said, about what you thought, about what you think, and you have no excuse for that person. What do I mean by you have no excuse for that person? What I mean by that is most times, you don't give excuses to people who you don't feel. Meaning, oh, they just having a moment. You're not going, no, for what? You do that to the person you hold dear. That's not your problem. Your problem is what they said or how they said it. In the Lord's house or out the Lord's house. In school or out school. My point to you is, he studies you enough to know where the edge is. Do you study yourself enough to know that your discipline says how I feel will not allow for me to go over? Just because I feel that way doesn't mean that I'm going to respond on how I feel. Just because I feel like I'm at the edge doesn't mean that I'm going to go what? Over. I'm strong enough to make it what? Through. I'm strong enough to hold my tongue. I'm strong enough not to act the way I'm acting and not do what I'm doing. And so I look for a release. I look for a way out, and I don't let them tip me over. Because you just want me not to look like God wants me to look. And it's not really so much that they don't specifically want, because they have nothing to do with you. It's just that in this world, you have to figure out who's going to win. Is it God or the devil? That's all. You have to make a decision every moment of every day on how you respond. Do I pick this up or do I not pick it up? Do I say this or do I not say it? Do I counsel myself or do I not counsel myself? Do I push when I don't have any more in me and ask God to give me more to push? said, God, I'm not really here today. He's like, you keep going. I said, well, all right. I'll be of service. I can't do anything else but be who he said. Hey, I could go on how I feel. I could just say, hey, service is over. Catch y'all next week. But listen to the sermon on YouTube. But you've got to make a decision that how you feel is not always what's going to play out. It doesn't make that it's not important. Please understand this. It doesn't make that it's not important. It just means that it's not as important as what has to happen, what needs to be done. Can I give you an example? Lord, I don't want to do this. Nevertheless, not what I feel like, not what I desire, but if this is your will, I'll keep dying. I'll take the spit, I'll take the fight, I'll take the punches, I'll take the whips, I'll take the sword, I'll take it all because it's what you desire of me. And that's what's going to make me look how you want me to look. That's going to make me sound how you want me to sound. That's going to make me be how you want me to be. And at the end of the day, all you really want to hear is, well done, my good and faithful servant. Here's the key. That is a task that is high. It's easier for you to become a billionaire to work those things, because that's all against your physical and natural desire. So I have to let go of the selfishness. I have to let go of my problem. I have to let go of all those things, and I need to push what? Through. Number 2, it's easier to keep it than to lose it and get it back. It's easier to keep it than to lose it and then get it back. Most people lose it and get it back, and they're trying to get it back, and they're working to get it back. Just, if you didn't get there yet, and you see the warning signs, and you see them say you got the pink slip, you got the 90-day, they telling you they gonna come and get your vehicle, they telling you this, that, and the other, it's easier to keep the relationship. It's easier to keep the job. It's easier to keep the thing than to lose it and try to get it back. Why? Because when you lose it, it's no longer in your possession. It's in either its own possession or somebody else's possession. It's seeing what's out in the world. It is now, the notice is out, and they put the job out for somebody else to get. You have to understand this, that if you have something, you have to learn how to keep it. It is not worth you losing it and then trying to work your life away to gain it back. Because some things in life you can't what? Get back. And that is up to you and the Lord. And sometimes it doesn't work. So I want you to understand this. If you have it, you have the gift, you have the job, you have the thing. Work it. Work it when you cry. Work it when you don't feel like doing it. Manage it when you don't feel like managing it. Because when you lose it, there's a time frame in which you may not ever get it what? Back. That's why I say manage your money, manage your time, manage your children, manage your relationship, manage what you do. Why? Because it will bring forth fruit. It will grow. It will increase. If you don't, you will lose it, and you will ask God, what happened? And he's going to say, you happened. You didn't want it bad enough to keep it. I gave it to you. That was a blessing, and likely one that you didn't deserve. But I gave it to you anyway. And what did you do with the gift that I gave you? Did you work it? Did you till the ground? Did you water it? Did you increase? Did you bless it? Did you strengthen it? Did you help it? At your job, how is it better because of you? In your friendship, how is it better because of you? The thing your gift that God has given you, has it flourished and increased? What you do, what you have, the relationship, the marriage, the children, are they better because of you, or are you just there? There are plenty of people that are parents, they just parents, but they just have the children. They make sure they eat at least once a day, and that's it. They upstairs, I don't know if they don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then there's people that I'm working, I do stuff you don't like that I do stuff that you like that I do. I'm gonna do both of them because I've gotta do something so that you can get to where you need to what? Be. To increase, to grow, and to become. That is number 2. Here's number 3. Know what you can afford. Know what you can afford. This is key. This is important. I need you to really write as many things as you can write. Know this. Know what you can afford. And I don't mean just financially, but I mean in every way, in every area of your life, what you can afford to say and what you can't afford to say. Not because you're a boss, not because you are your own self. Because it might destroy you on what you say. It might destroy you on what you do. So you have to know what you can and cannot do. Stop breaking what you don't have the tools to fix. Some of us are breaking stuff in our lives and we don't know how to fix it. We don't have the tools to fix it. Can't afford to buy it, and some stuff can't be bought again. Now that is key. If you don't get nothing else, here's a funny thing. I was a young child, probably like 8 years old, and I was watching Batman. My oldest brother was behind me, and Batman had a problem. He came in and he started wrecking the Batcave. He was just throwing stuff and breaking stuff and breaking stuff. And my brother was like, well, wow, just because you can afford it don't mean you should do it. I was like, but he can afford it. He was like, got a point. He can afford it. He just buy it all over again. Do it all over again. But there are some things in your life that you can't afford to do. There are some things you can say to certain people and they will walk away from you forever. There are certain things you can say on your job and they will escort you outside. There are some things you can do and that will be the end of it. I was supposed to go to South Carolina, drive my mom to South Carolina, and I told my job that, I got another thing I had to do, and they were like, you sure you want to do that? And I was like, oh no, I'll be right back. I didn't get it. I had just started working there like 2 weeks, and they were like, I don't think this is the best. They were like, okay, if that's what you want to do. And I didn't get it. So I drove my mother down, drove my mother back, came back. I was like, well, what's my schedule? And they was like, come on in. I was like, okay. I came on in and everything. They were like, yeah, so you don't work here anymore? It's just too inconsistent, too soon, too much. And it's just not, there's some things you can't get back. You in a relationship doing some things you can't afford to do. You in a relationship saying some things you can't afford to say. You working on your gift. Forget people. You're working on your gift and you are not giving the time that it needs to increase. And somebody's looking for you to increase so that they can give you what they want to give you the job they want to give you the opportunity they want to give you. But they don't see the increase in your growth. And so they don't give it to you, and you're wondering why. Because you can't afford to take off. You can't afford to take off your relationship. You can't afford to say, oh, I'm not coming, I'm not doing, I'm not going to get it. So here's the key. Breaking up what you don't know how to fix leaves you with something broken, correct? Okay. How would you like a broken relationship? How would you like to be unemployed? How would you like to lose a client because you didn't give 120 or 50%? So when Kirsten first started out, she was working and she was baking, and it was like, we can't give them that. And she didn't like that. But now she looks at it and she's like, that can't go out. That can't go out. No, why can't it go out? Because if I give you subpar, if I give you less than, if I give you something that's not good enough, this is what you say when you take it. This is your best. This is what you've given me. I don't want what you gave me, so I don't come back. Why do you lose clients? Because they don't want what you gave them. And so I need for you to get this in your mind. How you live and what you give is who you are. How you live and what you give is who you are. And you're saying, I can afford this life. I can afford this lifestyle. So you have to be careful. And this is what all prideful people, I need you to hear me. If you think you might be slightly prideful, be careful. Be very careful with what you have. I say, be careful with God. Be careful with what you have. When you're careful with something, and we have a different way of operating. It's funny. If I was careful with this, I'd pick it up and I'd put it down. If I wasn't, I'd just drag it. And in a house with a lot of people, you can tell who's careful and who's not. And so they look at me strange when I say, why you pick my stuff up? Because I don't want you picking my stuff up. I seen what you do with your stuff. I don't want you to pick my stuff up. I flip out about it a little bit. I was on the game the other day, and I had my headset on, and Kai went to go say something. I didn't hear what she said, and she went like this. And all I could see was the hundreds of dollars being stretched from my ear. And I was like, she's not careful, Lord. She's not careful. She's not careful. She should be very careful. She don't understand where I got it from, how much it cost me, and I can't afford to buy, just go to the store and buy it again. You understand what I'm saying? And so I need you to gather this. I need you to get this in your mind. Every time Zion pick up the organ, I'm like, be careful with it. You be careful. Be careful with it. Why do I want, because I know what I can and I cannot afford to I'm just going to go get another one. You understand? I'm just going to go get another one. He put it in his arm like this, and I was like, hey, he been working out. He just put it and walked out the door with it. But you understand what I'm saying? That made me feel better. I need you to be careful with it. What you have, when I see you, now I'm going to end it here, but what you have, and I see your clothes, I see your jewelry, if you ever invite somebody to your house, they know what you're careful about. They know what you concern yourself about. I got a chess set. It only gets played with probably once a year. And I'm okay with that. You wanna know why? Because I'm playing it, and you can't play it when I'm not playing. There's certain things I need to see while you using what I'm using, what I got, because I'm careful about it. And I need you to be that way with your relationship. I need you to be that way. All I'm asking you to do is you didn't notice it, but I just need you to manage. That's all. Being careful with something means that you manage it. And you manage it what? Well. Here's the key. What you count as valuable, people will count as valuable. What you count as draggable, people will count as draggable. How you perceive yourself is how people will perceive you. How you manage something is how other people will manage it. What you think about something shows in how you manage it. So don't tell me you love it if you don't manage it well. Don't tell me it's valuable if you don't manage it well. Don't tell me you care about it if you don't manage it well. It's got to be something that you love. Show it. Don't just say it, because children never look at what you say as much as what you do. So I'll carry it a certain way, and I look at it a certain way, and I treat it a certain way, because I want you to know what I think of it. And every time I'm done with my headphones, I wrap the cord and I tuck it in and I turn it and I put it and I zip it back. And every time I'm done with my chest set, I put all the pieces in and I pull the drawstring and I put it back. And if you get too close to my stuff, you know, sooner or later, if you look up, you'll know I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you. And if I ever tell you something and I'm looking at you, it's because I count you so important that whatever it is that I was doing, isn't it as important as me making sure that you're doing what you're doing. It don't mean I'm mad at you. It means I love you enough and you're too valuable. I'm careful with you. Stop. People get so confused and think that bad is bad and good is good. You need to make sure that your kids understand that I'll put the game, I'll put this down, I'll stop talking on the phone. I'm looking at you because you're valuable to me. I stopped what I was doing because you're valuable to me. And I care what you become, and I stop and I look at you because what you do matters to me. And God said for me to what? Manage well. And those are the keys to life. God bless you.